Welcome to Talk of the Town with Supervisor Dick Thurston. Today I would like to share with you some thoughts with respect to our recycle program and also bulk pickup opportunities. As you may have read in my recent column in the Southern Dutchess News, the board and I have been having a number of discussions with respect to how do we manage the recycle program more efficiently and effectively for all of our residents to actually participate in. As you know, we have a recycle yard, which is actually called a recycle center, that's been operating for many years, and that's located right next to the highway garage, and I believe the address is like 767 Sergeant Palmatier Highway. But you'll be able to see it by the big snowplow that's actually in front of the front gate. The recycle yard is open for a half day on Wednesday mornings until noon, and also on another half day on Saturday mornings until noon. The yard is manned by employees of the Building and Grounds Department of the town of Wappinger, as well as the Highway department. So we basically staff it in order to receive the variety of goods and materials that you would have to bring in. However, there are a number of prohibited materials that can be identified both on a brochure that the town has, as well as on the large green signs that face you as you're coming into the property. A lot of items, particularly electronics related, have been cut back and eliminated over the years because of the recycling issues and the fact that a number of countries such as China are no longer accepting those products. So what's the issue? Well, the real challenge to us has been how do we try to maintain the costs that we incur for operating the recycle program from skyrocketing continuously. And those costs have been directly related to actually recycling costs that we have, because the various recycled materials that are brought to the yard, with the exception of wood products that are in the form of branches or leaves, mulch, everything else is then carted away by Royal Carting, and they of course charge a fee for providing that service. We are one of the few communities remaining in the Southern Dutchess area, or I think any place in Dutchess County, one of the few, where we still provide this for our residents. There is no intention whatsoever of eliminating, curtailing this particular program, because I think many of all of us actually benefit from it. But what we are trying to do, and we've had some hiccups along the way, is actually enforce more strictly what has been some unwritten and also written rules relating to whether or not, or to what extent, the actual professionals who are renovating apartments or are tearing down buildings as part of their development, or even construction grade materials that are surplus, excess, waste as a result of a construction operation. Those we do not want to have at the site. What has happened is that we've had a tremendous amount of abuse going on, and that abuse is where we have truckloads of materials coming in. We have stepped up our enforcement by also asking the sheriff's deputies to be stationed up there. We are taking down the names, the license plates for people that are identified either as not having a permit or suspicious use of a permit where it's not affixed to the vehicle, or just abuse where they bring in bulk, let's say, 20 different toilets. The problem with toilets is we have to pay a special company to come in and grind up the ceramic materials in such a way that it also does not create environmentally contaminating dust, from that particular process. So, the challenges have been great, in addressing it. We've had some false steps. I had apologized earlier for one of our residents that I had actually, when I was called out to try to enforce the code and actually the general policies, he was concerned that I had actually misspoken or was not very polite in the way I did it. So I apologized but we proceeded to have others that day that were actually outright violating. So the board has been looking at how do we handle permitting. The problem with unlimited bulk pickup and shutting down the yard is that we would find the materials being dumped on our streets, as I understand once was the case. So now we're looking at what is a more streamlined process, considering different options that would go into the yard's maintenance and the use of the yard by all of our residents. Also, we have been examining, to what extent can we have some sort of program each year where we would either have pre-ordered and prepaid for some bulk pickup at the residence's address, or also leaf and brush pickup in the fall. And we are examining and looking at the cost of either renting or buying a leaf sweeper that would actually has a big vacuum in it and sucks up the leaves that you would find in many communities. We certainly welcome our residents' ideas, and stay tuned for when we are going to be discussing these items on board meetings out into the future that will be listed, pre-listed in our agenda items. If any of you have any questions, then please let me know, and we'll address those promptly. So thank you again for participating in this program, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Have a good day.